Oh boy, asymmetrical horror games. How I love and hate them. But the one I love most right now is definitely Evil Dead the game. So today, let's talk about it. More specifically, I'm gonna do what everyone else loves to hear from people that talk about games, and that's talking about what's fucking wrong and what's bad about it. But typically, when people complain about Evil Dead the game, it's usually about game balancing or glitches or toxicity or some other bullshit. I'm not here to complain about what everyone else is complaining about because I think all those things, sure, they might be a problem, but I think in the grand scheme of all that is in Evil Dead, I think it is not the crux of the biggest issues of this game. So, what do I think the main problem with Evil Dead the game is? Well, I I'm gonna I'm gonna try my best to summarize what I think is the problem and not come across as a what is colloquially known as a dick, because what I might say might sound a bit dickish. I might sound like an asshole for saying it. But what I think is the actual, problem with the game and why so many people complain about balancing specifically is that the real problem is that it's an actual skill issue. I think people are just not very good or get really mad whenever they lose. Right? Either it's, they're not very good at the game or get mad when they lose, which is understandable. Now, I'm not going to sit on a high horse here and say I'm the best Evil Dead player, because I'm not. I'm not one of those YouTubers that's like level 200 and has maxed out everything. I still haven't even tried to max out Puppeteer yet. That's a fool's errand in my mind. No way in hell I'm gonna max out that thing until I've maxed out everything else. But I might not be the best Evil Dead player, but I have played the game for a long time. I played it day one. I've been playing the game since day one. So I think I'm a bit, I think that gives me some qualifications. So what do I mean by skill issues, right? Now, a lot of these complaints I'm going to make, or a lot of these things I'm going to talk about, are really geared towards quick play, right? People that squad together are typically going to be very good, all right? Or they're going to be very well organized, actually put in an effort to work together to win. Compare that to quick play. Quick play players are, again, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but quick play players, just not all, but there's a alarming amount of them that just aren't very good or just are very ignorant when it comes to playing. Like, I'm not trying to say they're bad, but I don't think they know how to play or know how to play well. So what do I actually mean by this? Well, I'll show some footage in the background showing some good examples, right? Some of the biggest, like the most common mistake I see is like, and you know what, I can't blame anyone for doing this, right? And that's like just using a character the wrong way, right? There are 4 different types of characters. You have the leaders, warriors, hunters, and supports. Now, typically, there's no real there's no set in stone way. You can play however you want, but there are certain ways to play characters that will best benefit you. And what I mean by this is like using proper weaponry for that character, doing that job of your character, and just being an actual like team player with that character, right? So if you're playing Hunter, don't carry the legendary weapon. Give that to the legendary melee weapon, I should say. If you have one, literally hand it off to any other person. It'll benefit you and the whole team more if any other person on your team has a legendary melee weapon. Because guess what? Hunters are the weakest with those. So if you have a legendary fucking knife, give it to anyone else. Vice versa for warrior. If you're a warrior with a legendary gun, give it to anyone else, especially your hunters. Your hunters could especially benefit from that. Don't hog that. Hunters absolutely melt demons' health with just one legendary gun.
groovy.
Another important thing is like leveling up your skill tree to a way that best suits your the character you're playing. I'll probably flash like character build trees right here. And using proper equipment for players really matters. I mentioned that earlier, and it's especially important for warriors. Warriors, all three of them have a very specific weapon in mind, right? If you're playing Ash, use the chainsaw and level up your skill tree so that the chainsaw is even stronger. If you're playing Scotty, use the fire axe. Level up your Scotty's character tree in a way so that it especially works with the fire axe. And Henry the Red definitely uses sledgehammer. Henry the Red's the only warrior right now that doesn't have a specific weapon that is stronger for him than any other. So for Henry, I just like to have a super buffed out, just mega tank, takes a shitload of damage Henry. It works pretty well. Especially works with a skill. Like that, with his skill that he has of being able to go invincible for 7 seconds, I think extra damage, invulnerability is especially helpful for that character. And not just warriors, right? If you're playing a fucking support, max out the amount of shemps you can carry and spawn in with. That is super important. Like, if you're playing support and you don't have that, stop playing support. You're playing it dead fucking wrong. Go fix that. Because if you don't have that, then what the fuck is the point of playing support? That is literally stupid. For leaders and hunters, it's a bit more everything goes. You can kind of do whatever you want, really. Really, you should be leveling out the amount of range damage you do with hunters, but really, I think you can do whatever you want. Preferably, I do that. My hunter skill trees all look pretty similar to one another because all hunters really do play similar to one another. And for leaders, all three of my leaders are different, but they all look very similar in some ways when it comes to their skill trees. So that's the whole playing the character the right way thing. Not a big deal, right? Most people that don't know what they're doing are probably new, and you shouldn't be mad at them for that. I'm not, but what I am mad at is this next type of player. I know you've seen it. I know anyone that plays quick play and has problems with quick play definitely has seen this player before. That player being the one that spends God knows how long, forever looting instead of getting shit done. We've all seen it. We've all seen the player that just spends forever looting. Just the one or two dumbasses that spend their entire game sitting in dead end and looting. Right? I see it when I play Demon. I see it when I play Survivor. I'm gonna show all sorts of footage of it right here, probably, if I fucking have any, because God knows OBS just is a piece of shit, and I feel like it doesn't record half the things I tell it to record. Like, looting for 10 minutes is so counterproductive. Sure, you might get stronger weaponry, and if you manage to get like a legendary double barrel for your hunter, it might have been worth it. It might have, well, been very much worth it. But that is such a big gamble. The chances of that happening are so very little. So it's not worth taking the risk. Just for that 1% chance you get that one thing that just gives you a major edge over the demon. Because the longer you take looting, the stronger the demon gets as well. And if you're not actually getting good loot in return, you're getting weaker while this demon is actually getting much stronger. So taking 10 minutes to loot and only gain like 2 map pieces, God knows I've seen 10-minute games where they only get 1. That is just bullshit. You are screwing yourself over by doing that. And it's not just like one person. Sometimes like the whole fucking team that does it. Now, I like looting. It is fun. Looting is such a great aspect of Evil Dead the game. It makes it so much more fun when you find a legendary weapon. When you get that fucking awesome golden yellow piss-colored glow radiating off that weapon, you know it's like, oh my god. Ain't that just the most beautiful sight you ever seen? But guess what? You know what's more beautiful fucking? Seeing that end screen where it says survivors win. And you know what? As fun as looting is, guess what? all that loot's gone at the end of the game. You can't carry it with you to the next game like this is fucking Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown. Once the game's over, that loot is gone. Say goodbye to all that shit. Because guess what? You ain't never gonna get it back, son of a bitch. So instead of just sitting and looting forever at Dead End and Mama's Liquors for 10 minutes while the rest of your team does an objective and dies because you were the fucking Cheryl that sat at Mama's Liquors halfway across the map looting, you fucked us over, Cheryl. Thank you. So instead of looting forever, rush objectives. Rushing objectives absolutely fucks over the demon, right? I think I have good footage of it right here. Like this one time we got all 3 map pieces done super insanely quick and the demon was like level 5. It was beautiful. That demon was quaking in his fucking boots. Getting shit done quicker will screw over the demon so much better. And as you might not get as much good loot, but guess what? You'll find better loot on the way, right? The game gives you enough loot from the surrounding objectives, like the map pieces. The stuff around map pieces is enough loot to get you through the game. So instead of looting forever, just get those map pieces done and then get to the Kandarian Dagger and Lost Pages and then get to the book as quick as possible, because it'll screw over the demon big time. The games I struggle most with as demon are against players that rush objectives. Those are the ones where I have super close games and get super fucking terrified of losing. Now, rushing objectives isn't all, right? The biggest aspect that determines whether or not you're gonna win is how well of a team you actually are. If you're not playing as a team, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose every time if you're not playing as a team. Unless the demon is like an actual infant. What I mean by playing as a team is like, actually working together. Like, if one guy's getting harassed by a possessed unit, help them. If you leave them to fight on their own, they're screwed. If you're a support and half your team is about to die, actually use your shemps. I hate seeing a support that doesn't use their shemps, even though I know damn well they have them. That is the worst fucking thing ever. Don't split up from your teammates. Unless they're a bunch of dumbasses looting for 10 minutes, then I guess it's understandable. Or unless you're Pablo. Don't leave them on, like, objectives. If you have a teammate that is... You leave them on, like, the pages while you're trying to go revive your other teammates, which I've seen before, right? Where this game I got Demon... I got this game as a Demon where I wiped out 2 of their teammates, and then this fucking leader Ash, and I don't know what it is, but so often or just leader Ash is really fucking stupid. I'm not sure if I'm not the only one to notice that, but leader Ash is just sometimes really stupid. So we split off from Pablo, who was on the objective all by himself, and went to go revive his teammates. And then, of course, that fucked everything up, and I won. Even though they were doing pretty well so far, but you gotta stick with your teammates. Don't split off from the main objective just to revive teammates, unless like you know for sure it is gonna help. It's such a gamble. So really, you really shouldn't take that gamble. It is very risky, especially if it's like a support. Support on its own is quite possibly like the weakest character on its own. So just work as a team more often. I'm not asking you to work like a team like those fucking people that, like those squads that play together, or like, I'm not asking you to talk to each other, because God knows I don't want to hear you talk, because your mic is probably ass because you're an Xbox kid.
Like, because every hit increases by 10% after the first hit. So it's like 10%, 20%, then like 70%, like that's my question. If it's like that, I want to use it.
My ears burn!
So just keep that to yourself, but just stick with me, work together, get objectives done, be a team player. Players that actually work as a team are the most difficult teams to fight against. That's why whenever I see a team that I queue up with that are, whenever I start a demon game and I see every one of the teams a PS4 player, or an Xbox player, or a PC player, I go, oh, those guys are probably all squatted up together. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty fucking difficult. Well, better get ready for a long, fucking hard, intense game. You can come up with a few jokes from that sentence if you take it out of context. So just work together, people. This game was advertised as a team-based game, so just work together and you'll win so many more games than you'll lose. Unless you're playing against, like, again, at level 200 demon that knows every single trick and how to use every aspect of the game. So I think that pretty well covers Survivor. So time to talk about the demon. Okay, time to talk about the demon. The demon is a lot more complex than the Survivor. Demon has a lot more strategization behind it than I'd say Survivor does, because as Demon, you're the only one on your team, right? It's just you. You're a team of one. So you gotta think faster and smarter than the survivors. And thankfully you have a lot of tools at your disposal. Demon is now a lot of people want to say Demon is underpowered, but I'm gonna go against the norm and say no. That is dead fucking wrong. Demon can still be super powerful. It all just depends on how you play, right? If you're playing Necromancer like you're playing Puppeteer, yeah, you're gonna lose. If you're playing Puppeteer like you play Warlord, you're gonna lose. Every demon is unique. You gotta play it a certain way or you're gonna lose. Demon doesn't play like Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th the game. You're not gonna rush around immediately and try to fucking smack everyone in the face and grab them and kill them as you see fit. No, you have to think. You have to think methodically. You gotta think for the long game, man. You gotta make sure you use that infernal energy right. You gotta spawn in what is most important. And you need to use your abilities, right? If you're playing Necromancer, you've got to use that Flutist. You gotta put it 55 meters away in the other direction from the objective and spawn in a shitload of skeletons and fuck up the survivor's day. Right? If you're not using Flutist, you're gonna lose. Puppeteer, you gotta use your elites, and you need to use your boss. If you're not using your boss and elites, you're gonna get your ass handed to you as the Puppeteer. Warlord, you gotta be using your boss and your special powers for every single one of your units, right? You gotta use your puke, and you gotta use Henrietta. Henrietta's probably the most powerful boss in the game right now, tied with maybe like Puppeteer. Puppeteer's Elagos, right? Elagos and fucking Henrietta are absolutely nuts right now. They are extremely powerful. I fucking hate fighting against them. I really fucking hate fighting against them as Survivor. They are a pain in the ass. So you gotta use each character's strengths and you gotta learn their weaknesses. And demons need to keep their cool. A lot of demons say they're underpowered and that demon sucks. I really don't agree with that. I think demon players need to keep their cool and stay calm. If you can stay calm and keep your cool as a demon, you're going to do so much better than you would do before. And leveling up your demon skill tree especially matters. You gotta level up in a way that actually is super helpful. I'll show my Warlord and Necromancer builds right here. Both of them are really good. I have not lost a game as Necromancer since I reached level 45, except for the one time I did play against a full squad and the Aninobi had a blue hunting rifle back when the blue hunting rifle was bugged and did 250 balance bar damage, but as far as I'm aware, losing against a glitch does not count in my book. So for the love of God, just play the demon right. You need to level it up right, you need to use your abilities right, you need to use your characters right. If you're playing Warlord, absolutely skip out and using the elite. That is fucking pointless. Don't even try using Warlord. Use your basic, use the puke as basic, use your Henrietta. Puppeteer, use your elite, goddammit. Use that, spam that lightning skill, play Elagos and fuck up everyone's day, because Elagos is insane. And then for Necromancer, use that flute boy and then you do 400 damage per heavy strike with your basic unit, because you can do that, and that's fucked up. That is really fucked up. That is super powerful. just use the demon right. The demon, I don't need to explain demon a lot, right? It really isn't that complex. It really comes down to how well you play the demon, because you're not relying on a teammate. Because you're not relying on a teammate. If a teammate is fucking bad, then it drags you down. But you're playing by yourself. So if you're playing poorly, it really does depend on you. Unless you're playing against like the most meta team ever, that like if you're playing against like all hunters basically, and they all have one of them as a legendary weapon, or just playing against all hunters kind of fucking sucks. But I've done it before and I've won, so you can do it, man. Come on. I could do whole videos talking about how to play demon right, but that's for a different day. This is just a short summarization. Like if you're playing against a hunter, you gotta get that fear max down that hunter and use that gun, especially if they have legendary weapon. You can absolutely destroy their teammates' health with a legendary double barrel. It is fucking nuts. And no matter what, if it comes down to it and you're coming really close to losing, target the book. More often than not, you're gonna win playing against the book. Like, I've played against really good. I've only had one game recently where I got really close to losing, and I was just like, fuck it, target the book, and I won. Because they panicked, and I fucking won. Right? Even the best teams can panic. Especially when there's a flutist somewhere in the castle Kandar, and you're targeting the book, and then you kill 3 of the teammates, and it's just Ed left, and if it's just one person left, don't go for that one person, especially if they're a hunter. It's a fucking waste of time. Don't do it. You're gonna get yourself killed, or you're gonna lose if you do that. Please don't. Please stop doing that. And as demon, you also need to target. You need to target certain players, right? You gotta choose who's the biggest threat. So if there's a support on a team, you really should be targeting that support. You need to zone out the support, unless it's like unless they're super hard to zone because they have their ass covered by a warrior. You know, just try your best. Targeting the support is super helpful because you're gonna melt through their shems. You're just absolutely gonna melt their shems. You're gonna waste their shems, their shields, and it's gonna be really helpful and beneficial to you. So target your support. I know hunters are really fucking annoying, but don't target hunters. That is such a waste of time and resources. Do not target hunters, as annoying as they are, because guess what? Hunters can actually be more beneficial to you than a detriment, especially if you can possess them, like I said earlier. So, possess hunters, target supports, just all across the board. Just think about what you're doing, choose your biggest threat, take them out, or keep trying. Don't fold under pressure. Just keep going. You got it, demons. So that's really all my advice for the day. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about this for months. I've been wanting to talk about the quick play side of things because a lot of the big YouTubers that talk about this game, or imagine a lot of them are usually squatted up with their teams they're choosing, but I'm not one of them. I'm just a lowly quick play player who has to deal with lots of deadites and dumbasses that just fucking don't know what they're doing. So please just take a little bit of this advice. Start working as a team more often. Survivors, demons, just fucking get good. Alright, so that's all for today. So get out there and kick some survivor demon ass, whichever ass you prefer kicking.